Good evening. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we don't have any bleed over tonight. I'm gonna turn the volume down just a little bit. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. How you doing, Linda? Hey, Kelly.
Yes,
All right, Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, Shannon, there you are. Tiffany and Latasha. Okay, and Alicia. All right, Leanne, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, Kimberly, how are you?
I'm good, sir. You?
I'm doing fine. Connie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good tonight, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm just checking audio because we've had a lot of audio issues the past couple of weeks that have just given people a bunch of headaches. Cindy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, and Tracy, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing fine. Jade, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure everybody was in place. Okay, well, today was the first day of school, and I'm sure that those of you who are in schools are wiped out. Y'all are tired, even though you only had a fraction of the children you normally would have because of the COVID-19 situation. You guys are probably wiped out, so we're not going to be on long tonight. I can tell you that much. But I do have a few things I want to cover because this is the actual last time we're going to actually meet with a Zoom session because the summer session actually ends Sunday night at midnight. Now, I will tell you this, the last assignment you all have for me, and I've got to you all had due last night. I'm gonna hurry to get those done this week. Just to make sure that I can get those into you quickly. The last assignment you have is what I call an ETS scavenger hunt, okay? And what I need you to do is I need you to go to the PPAT website, and if you'll notice at the bottom of week 8, there's a little Word document that says ETS, that says PPAT scavenger hunt. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take that Word document and you're going to go to the website and you're going to locate the things on the Word document and submit them. Now, I know that sounds kind of like something you have a handful of middle school kids to do, but the reason why I'm giving it to you is because for the next 3 or 4 months, that website is going to be really important to you all who have finished your coursework. It's going to be real important to you all as you get your licensure stuff squared away and ready to go for the, for getting your licensure squared away and getting things taken place so that y'all can clear everything and be ready to be issued a license from the state of North Carolina. Because I'm going to tell you, there's something that's really important to me, and I'm going to tell you right now why this is important. Number one, it costs a lot of money to take the PPAT. $300. I mean, I'm telling you, for me, $300 is a lot of money. Okay. I mean, if I'm going to spend $300, I'm going to give you an idea how I'm going to spend $300. I want to be somewhere probably in my backyard with a pig sitting on my pig cooker and a bunch of people in the yard having a good time. That's what I want to do with $300. I don't want to be spending it to take one test after another over and over again. Okay. Now, the reason why I say that to you all is because when you guys take this thing, there are 4 tasks. And if you have to retake each task is $75 a pop. So if you don't get through the tasks, you're talking about as much as $450 by the time you're done trying to get this thing done. Now, they will allow you to resubmit when you don't get things squared away. But that's the reason why I want y'all to do this scavenger hunt on the web page, because I want y'all to find where things are that you need to know where they are, okay, as you're getting ready. Now, there's something else I want to talk to you all about tonight. And I'm going to send this out again tonight when I send out the information from tonight's Zoom session. The registration for the PPAT support Moodle. I'm gonna send that out to you. So if you haven't gotten on it, get on it. Okay. And then the second thing is the electronic evidences. Now, let me explain why these electronic evidences are important. Okay. The state of North Carolina sometimes audits UMO and other colleges. And one of the things they're looking for is they're looking for that we have made sure you can do certain things in order to license people. For example, on there, you're going to have you'll have to have an exemplar of a lesson plan that you've done. You're going to have your most recent teacher evaluation on there. You're going to have, let's see, what else is there? Your innovation plan from EDU 486, that's going to have to be there. You're also going to have a copy of your transcript from UMO and, just your college transcripts that indicate that, you were qualified to get a license from the state of North Carolina. Because when they edit our stuff and you're getting ready to apply for licensure, we want to make sure that you've got everything in place that the state may ask for you to produce, okay? And the reason, and I know this sounds ridiculous, and I don't want you to think that we're being silly, making you jump through hoops and what have you. But I will say this, UMO is doing more than any other of the surrounding colleges and universities to help residency people get their license, okay? We've found that out. We've been to meetings, we've been in conversations with people from other universities, and I can tell you right now, we're doing more to try to help folks like you who are teaching and trying to get your license. Now, that brings me to something I want to spend a little bit of time talking about tonight, and that is the PPAT support sessions and Moodle. Okay, now, let me just tell you, the first half of the fall semester, the only thing I'm going to be doing is coaching you all on how to get ready to get the tasks in to do the PPAT, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we're going to do this. I wanted to spend some time tonight specifically talking about it. There's going to be 3 Zoom sessions that we're going to have for task 1. Task 2 and 3 Zoom session will be together, and task 4 Zoom session will be by itself. Okay, we're going to do the 3 Zoom sessions before the end of October. And then we're going to have 3 face-to-face sessions that we're going to do. And I'm just telling you, this is all, this is totally voluntary. You don't have to do it, but I can tell you this, I would do it if it was me. We're going to do 3 Saturday sessions. We're going to do one, I think the first one is August 28th up at UMO. We're going to do it in the Henderson building. The second one, we're going to do at the end of September. I think it's the end of September, or it may be, yeah, I think it is the end of September. And then we have one at the end of October, because our goal is this. We want to have you where you have everything you need to take and get done done before, say, the second week in November, okay? Because there are time windows for turning each of these tasks in, and our idea is that we are putting together, before each time window, we're putting together a session to help you get ready to do that task, and then we're giving time in there so that you can give it to someone to read. And, like, for example, the things we're going to do when, we do the Saturday sessions, we're actually going to be working on writing the things on those Saturday sessions, okay? Now, I will tell you this to give you an idea how this is going to work. Task number 1 is due September I think it's the 16th it's due, okay? If you've not registered for PPAT, you need to go ahead and do so between now and the 14th of September so you don't miss the window. Task number 2 and 3 are submitted together, and they're submitted by mid-October. I don't have the date right offhand, I'm thinking that it's like, I want to say it's like October 17th, somewhere in there. Okay. And then task number 4, that's the one where you have to actually video record yourself teaching your students. Um, that one's going to be due, I think it's the second week in November. Okay. And the reason why we are taking all this time to work on those things with you all is the fact that we want you to do well. We want you to be successful, because I'm going to tell you, I don't know if they've talked to you all about this, but what usually happens in a situation like this, if something happens and you can't get yourself licensed, they knock you down to substitute pay after they do it. If you're working for the state, they knock you down to sub pay. Okay. And and that's not a good place to be. And I'm not doing this to scare you. I'm just telling you this is what they do. And what happens in that situation then is they give you another opportunity to get yourself through the window before they start really doing stuff like saying, okay, well, you're going to have to resign your job and things like that. I can tell you right now, we have a shortage in North Carolina. They're not going to run everybody out, but don't give them a reason to make life hard for you either. Now, I will say this before each task is due, all right? Before each task is due, I am going to be willing, if you submit them to me ahead of time, I will read them and I will send you an email back turned around with what you need to do or what I see you might need to do. Because I'm going to tell you, guys, one of the things that's going to happen when you take this this exam, when you do it, because it's all, you're submitting it a piece at a time, you really have a lot of control over it. But what's going to happen when you submit it is the people who read it are going to need to be able to clearly read and understand what you're doing. And that's why we're taking all this time this summer, and then we're following it up. Like I said, we're going to do everything we can possibly do short of taking the thing for you. We're doing everything we can do to make sure that we have enough support in place. And I will tell you this, last spring, we had the January session and the February session, and then the March session got shut down because of the quarantine we all had to go under. But I can tell you this, the folks who were in the January and February sessions generally did very, very well. Okay. And I'm just going to say that it's not that we're doing anything just out of this world, but the point is, it's like anytime you're working on something, it's always better the more sets of eyes you have to look at something. So like I said, one of the things I'm offering this fall, because I'm going to tell you, the university asked me to do this, and I can't think of something I would rather do than help you all get through the licensure process. The week, a week prior to deadline, you can submit them to me. I'll read them. I'll turn them back around, and I'll get them right back to you. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll tell you the first half of the fall semester, because they want this to help you out so much, I'm not teaching anything till October. So, I've got all of September and half of October to work with y'all. And I want to work with y'all, and I want y'all to be able to submit your tasks before you turn them in, just because I want you to get the help you need before, so that you're not having to repeat stuff and you're not having to resubmit stuff. And I mean, I'll just say this, in North Carolina, the passing score that you have to have is 38 points out of 60 points. Okay. If you think about it, that's less than 2/3 of the points that you've got to have on the assessment. Okay. I like the task number 1, it's probably one of the most important because it goes through all of the different tasks. But task number 1, they don't give you any points for, because that information has to be included in each one of the 3 other tasks. But task number 2, maximum number is 12 points. And we've been telling folks that if you can get in the ballpark of 7 to 9 out of 12 points, then you're pretty good with task number 2. Task number 3 is 16 points, and we've been telling people that if you could get within 10 to 12 points out of 16, you're in good shape. And then the bulk of the points, when you think about it, the bulk of the points are, on the actual teaching part of it. And that's the part where most people should be able to do well if they've written a good lesson and they put things together well, they should be able to do well and get those points. Because if you think about it, let me say this. Let's say you get 9 points out of task 2 and 12 points out of task 3, okay? All right. So 12 plus 9 is 21, and you got to have 38, so you only got to get 17 points out of 30 on the teaching piece. So, it's doable. And let me just explain something to you all, guys. I'm just going to say this. If I'm a principal, or I'm a human resources person, or a program director, am I going to care whether you scored 38 out of 60 or 60 out of 60? What am I going to care about? What was that, Kelly? I can't hear you.
38.
38. 38 is passing. Okay. It's kind of like when you went to take your driving test, when you got your driver's license. What's passing on the driving test?
And a 70?
70. And if you got a 70, you can drive just as well as the guy who's got 100, right? Or at least you think you can. Now, other drivers may not think that, but my point is this. And I'm not saying go for the very minimum, but go to pass the thing. Don't get upset because you tried to split an atom and it didn't work. Okay? Go in there with the intention of passing the thing. All right? Because I'm telling you, I want all of you guys to be in a situation where somewhere about January, they hand you your license, and it's a continuing license for the state of North Carolina, and you just don't have to sing that song and dance that dance anymore, okay? All right? Because like I said, I believe one thing about you guys with residency or lateral entry, as you used to be called. I believe one thing. You guys are probably doing one of the hardest jobs in education because, number one, you took a job in a field that you hadn't been trained to take the job in and got your training on the job, and you didn't kill any kids, and you didn't burn the school building down, and you didn't do anything terrible. So that being said, you guys are doing the hardest job in education right now. So I want to see you get through the job and finish it. Real quick, let me ask you a question. Can someone tell me a little bit about the first day of school today?
Stressful.
What,
Nothing right.
tell me how is it different this year from last year, Kelly?
Well, first off, Croatan's doing like the cohort things where we have some kids that are 100% virtual. And today we just had 9th graders for cohort A. And the poor things were lost. And then Power School went down. I don't know. Everything went down in Power School, so we couldn't put attendance in. And attendance was crazy because kids were in the wrong class. But it's different. I feel like I have to talk louder with my mask on. And then I felt like my throat was really sore because I had to emphasize a little bit more on what I was saying. So it was different, but I'm excited. I'm glad to be back in my classroom since March.
Well, it's funny. I'll tell you this. I had to take my little girl to school today, and she's in 2nd grade. And of course, we had to get ready, and she had to put on her and just to give you an idea, my daughter's kind of a little goofball. She's funny as she can be, but we're getting ready this morning. She puts on this this little pink like jumper, and then the next thing I know, she comes downstairs and she's wearing her pink Converse Chuck Taylor high tops with the jumper, and she's off ready to go to school. Anyway, and it was fun to go. I mean, because I like to go in schools, and I like to and I like to see what people are doing. But the sad thing was for me, I've been in and out of schools for the past 30 years, either teaching or working as an administrator, or working with UMO. And the thing that's so funny to me is that the feeling was not there that usually is there on the first day. You know how you go in the building and everybody's excited and there's a lot of milling around and the halls are full of people and the kids have the parents with them and all that there wasn't that feeling there. It was when someone meets you at the door with with the thermometer and they stick it up to your head to make sure that you're not running a fever, and then they ask you a bunch of questions, it kind of takes away from it a little bit. But Avery was excited to go to school, and she was glad to get in class. And when she got in there and realized that some of her little friends from 1st grade were there in her class, everything was good. But like I said, I think that's one of the things to me. It's going to be a very different year. This is going to be an entirely different monster for us to be dealing with. But anybody else have a first day story they want to share?
Dr. Gainey, for me, my county decided to do 100% virtual for 9 weeks, which I am really bummed about because I am ready, like Kelly said, to be back in my classroom teaching.
Which county are you in?
Martin County.
Okay, so you're up in Williamston, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, they're doing like some meet the teacher appointments. And the student and the parent are just one student, one parent can come. And one of my EC babies, because I'm EC resource, he was meeting his regular ed teacher today. And so I popped in just to say, hey, and like he wanted to just come up and give me a big hug. But, you know, we've been told like we're not supposed to hug the children. We're supposed to keep the 6 feet. So that to me was like, he wanted that love because he's been home since March and he hadn't gotten those teacher hugs. And, you know, like that to me was hard. And it was kind of depressing that, you know, I couldn't do what I wanted to do for my student.
Well, you know, that's interesting you mentioned that because that was one of the things I always liked when I was an elementary school principal. Because if you ever really wanted to feel like you really mattered to a kid, elementary school is a place to be because those kids, I mean, they still like coming to school and they still like the adults in their lives. Now, when they get to middle school, they start hating everybody for about 3 or 4 years, and it's all right. But, you know, but in elementary school, I mean, you get 4 or 5 of them will hit you. They will hit you like a defensive line, and they will love tackle you, and it's about all you can do to keep your feet. You know, I mean, but no, I know what you're talking about, Shannon. Shannon, what school are you in, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm at Rogers Elementary.
Okay. Dr. Mansfield and I were we lived next door to each other at East Carolina when we were both in college.
Oh my goodness. That's funny.
That's a long time back. Hey, Carmen, I see you've made it.
Dr. Mansfield actually retired this year.
Yeah, I had heard that. But matter of fact, Dr. Mansfield and I were in the East Carolina band together for a couple of seasons. So we know each other very well.
Oh, that's cool.
We know each other very, very well. But anybody else have a first day of school experience they want to share from today? Anybody have anything that happened that just seemed so out of
I want to
place?
share something.
Okay, Cindy.
Even though my pre-K kids will not be back until September the 8th, but K through 7th were there. And it was stressful. It was very stressful. I've never seen so many kids so confused. So it was very stressful. You know, I'm preparing my classroom for the kids that are coming back, but to step out in the hallway when I'm trying to do a parent board and to see the kids like just frustrated because they just don't know what to do. It was just stressful for me just to see them so frustrated sitting there at those computers, not knowing what to do. And then the administrators and the other teachers are working very hard to like work with the kids, but it was a stressful first day. I'm praying that it gets better, and I'm praying that when my pre-K kids come on September the 8th, it's smooth sailing from there.
Well, and
but it was just stressful just for that, and I didn't even have kids.
Well, you know, that's the funny thing to me is that, you know, when you think about what these teachers, what you all are going through right now, you know, the first week of school, everybody's tired anyway, but, you know, you kind of going on adrenaline because you're excited. And, you know, what I saw though today, you know, going in the one school I went in was that people looked exhausted. It didn't look like they were like, you know, they were tired, but they were excited. And, you know, I don't know. It's kind of funny when you ask your daughter's teacher take a picture with her on the first day of school so you can post it, and everybody's wearing masks. I mean, that it kind of is it's a little anticlimactic, I guess, a little bit compared to what it was. Anybody else have an opening day of school experience that they want to share?
I have one.
Okay, Carmen.
I have a kid who I teach 5th through 8th self-contained EC, and I have a kid whose family came to orientation today with no mask and refused to wear a mask. So my kids start back officially in the classroom Thursday. So I have no idea how I'm about to implement a mask whenever his parents don't make him wear one at home.
Well,
or like in public. So that's going to be a tough one to break.
Well, that's understandable. I will tell you this: one of the things that at my daughter's school I found out was the plastic face shields. Is that they will allow kids to wear the plastic face shields instead of a mask if if the parents have already bought them. And so like I said, that was something with my wife teaching. We ordered a whole bunch of them, and the thing was is because I know when I go in, I have to see student teachers, and it's kind of hard for you to talk to a student teacher when you look like you're getting ready to go rob a convenience store, So that being said, but the plastic face shields may be the way to go. I know they got them at Lowe's, over in the safety glasses section, and I think they're like $7 or $8. They're not super expensive. They're kind of flimsy, but they do come down and cover your whole face. The kid may decide to want that.
Yes, sir. I have face shields. So I'm hoping that, he's just very gung-ho and not wearing anything. So I'm hoping a face shield will be easier for him. So we'll see. I'm trying to be positive.
Well, maybe it's time for us all to play Spaceman this year.
I feel you on that.
Buy the kid a motorcycle helmet with a bug shield, and he'll think he's a spaceman. Anyway, but anybody else have an opening? And the reason why I wanted to share some of these today is because guys, we're in a place that we've never been before in public education. Okay, my gosh, let's face it, we've thrown everybody into the digital divide. We're using technology heck, we're using technology we don't even know how to use right now. But we got a lot of things going on in school buildings because of the fact that safety has dictated it more than anything else. So you guys are telling some stories that are really interesting. They're really, really interesting, and I think that's one of the things I wanted y'all to get was the fact that y'all might be able to learn from each other a little bit tonight. With some of your experiences today. Anybody else have a first day of school reflection they want to make? Okay, David.
We started back completely virtual. So
now you're at JT Barber, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's Erica doing? Is she doing okay?
She's doing great, actually. She rides me every day.
I'm gonna tell you what, though, she's a nice lady. She really is.
And she is. So I think the biggest problem we're having is getting kids to come into Zoom in the elementary school. We still can't get everybody to show up every day.
Mm-hmm.
Being completely virtual. We've got hot spots everywhere, and some of them are still asking for paper packets. And we've told them there's internet everywhere in the county. There's no reason you can't get it now.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because think about this though too, and this is one of the things that you have to bear in mind, that we came kicking and screaming into the 21st century in March. We really didn't want to go there, but we had to. But now let me point something out to you, and I know your demographic that your school's in pretty well. There are a lot of those parents who, even though they may be in their late 20s, early to mid 30s, they are still working out of about a mid 1980s mindset. And even though they may have an iPhone 11 or the most advanced smartphone they can have, you have to remember something, that with the technology they have, they're playing games on it. They're not using it to do work. So you have to kind of think that way, is that they've not realized that, the rest of the world learned to use it to do work. They're still playing games on it because it's a $1,000 deck of cards for them. So, you might have to do some things a little bit old school, a little bit Stone Age, it's kind of, and I'll kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about. Couple of weeks ago, I was in Kenansville and I was cooking in a barbecue contest at the livestock arena, and guy next to me. I mean, now I've got a pretty advanced piece of equipment. It's it was custom built for what it does. Well, the guy next to me's over there with two 55-gallon drums burning logs to get coals, and he's built his pit out of cinder blocks and rebar, and he's talking about going old school, and then at 8 in the morning he's wondering why he can't get it hot enough to finish up what he needs to do before his judges show up. Well, the thing is that's fine if you got all day and all night, but when you don't have all day and all night, you got to come up with something else. And so one of the things about it is some of these folks are going to use methods they know, even though they may have the most advanced technology in their pocket. They're going to use the methods they know. So just and I guess the best word to say is allow for grace. That's about the only thing you say, is allow for grace, because people are going to always fall back on what they know more so than they're going to go blazing forward to try to do other things. Anybody else have a first day of school experience they
I
want to share?
do.
Okay,
I
Connie.
do. I teach pre-K, so it felt kind of awkward where the kids couldn't really play like they want to play, and as a teacher, you can't really comfort them. First day at school, you can't really go and hug them and play with them and let them know everything gonna be okay. No more than you 6 feet from them and tell them, okay, it's gonna be okay. I promise you can go home. And then when we went outside for PE, they couldn't play with the ball, so it's like we just out here doing nothing because they can't share stuff. Yeah. So that felt kind of awkward, just outside for an hour, really doing nothing.
Just
because you can't share the tricycle, you can't share the balls, and so it's pretty awkward today.
Yeah, it's good. There are going to be some hard places for us to have to work through. I know at my daughter's school, they talked about when they go out on the playground, they can't get on the equipment. They can't play on the slides and on the jungle gyms and stuff like that because of possible transmission of fluids and everything else. So they were going to try to come up with things for them to do. And and I thought to myself, those poor PE teachers are going to get worked to death. Teacher comes down there every day. I need a new game to play with these kids. Poor. I'm gonna tell you something. PE teachers are gonna earn their money this year. They are going to earn their money because, particularly in elementary school, they are going to earn it because those teachers are going to come down and say, "I need an activity to do with my kids outside." And so, but I know it's kind of sad, Connie, that people aren't going to be able to do that. But the one thing I tell people is let's just hope that these guys who are real close on this vaccine get to the point where the vaccine's ready to roll by Christmas, because I really want to see these kids have a real school year, and right now I'm kind of worried that they won't. But anyway, is anybody else got one they want to share? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I do want to go back and just cover this real quick. When we were talking about the scavenger hunt for the ETS for that website, for the PPAT website, I'm going to send that out. But I'm also going to, even though the scavenger hunt Word document is on the Moodle at week 8, I'm going to send it out separately anyway, because I want y'all to have it, so you don't have to go digging around. But like I said, that's the last thing I'm going to get to look at of y'all's. So go through, look through the web page, find it. I mean, it's not difficult. It's more, it's more of a, well, it's kind of like doing a crossword puzzle, I guess is the best way to put it. You know, it's a matter of going through, locating it, writing the stuff down, you know, and that's more to help you because, like I said, September and October and November, you guys are going to be in that web page up to your elbows because of the fact that you're going to have to know where the stuff is to submit it. But as far as the evidences are due, Karen, you asked about the evidences. I'll go ahead and tell you the evidences that you have to do. I'm going to send that access stuff out also again. Evidences, you need to get those evidences into that Moodle and get them uploaded. Really, by the first week in October, you need to do it just to get it out of your hair. You probably got everything you need. Like I said, you have to have your transcript. You have to have your most recent teacher evaluation. You have to
Do we
have,
submit the transcript or you submitting it? Do we need to get that and submit it?
you can use a copy. If you got a copy, you need to submit it and upload it. We won't submit it. You have to. And it doesn't have to be an official one. It's just got to be a copy of one so that you've got all your evidences in place when if they ever pull them. But as far as that's concerned, like I said, it's transcript, most recent teacher evaluation, a copy of a lesson plan, and your innovation plan that you had from EDU 486. That's the only thing that you had. Those are the 4 evidences you have to turn in for UMO in that evidences piece. So like I said, and Dr. Maxwell and I, what we're doing is we're going through every so often and we're checking to see who's uploaded them. And we're just checking to see that everything's there. And if it is, we send you a little reply back. And, hey, everything's here and it's satisfactory, and you know, don't worry about it.
Will
And like I
that
said,
stay up on the will that stay up on the Moodle after, you know how when the classes are over they disappear? Will that stay on the Moodle?
that will stay on the Moodle.
Okay.
Now, let me go ahead and tell you this: when your class, I'm sure you saw that little thing where it says 180 days after your last class, they dump you out of your email. Well, let me put it to you this way. One of the things that I will tell you is that because you're going through licensure and you're going to do the PPAT support stuff and all, they will not dump you out of the Moodle when you've taken your last class because of that. Okay. Matter of fact, 180 days is going to carry you probably to the end of February if you're finishing your coursework in August. Because that's, you know, September, October, November, December, January, and February. That's about 6 months. So you got about 6 months where you'll still have your UMO email and stuff like that, so we can run everything for you. Okay. Jade, you were asking about teacher observations. If you do not have your summative observation that was done by your supervisor or your administrator, if you have a peer observation and it was done officially on the observation form, you can use it, because really we know that 2019, 2020 was not the typical year for the teacher evaluation instrument. So whatever you have, Jade, you should be able to use. Okay.
Okay, I have one from our principal. It just wasn't the last one that I've had done.
That'll be fine, Jade. That'll be fine. That'll be fine, because we know that there were extenuating circumstances with 2020. Okay.
Okay.
So, like I said, if you just want to scan it in, you can scan it in and then upload it. It should be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Now.
Dr. Jenny, I just said. Oh.
Okay, Kimberly, what was that?
So this week we need to turn in the scavenger hunt and that paper. That's it.
The scavenger hunt. The scavenger hunt is due Sunday at midnight. Matter of fact, most of you all have already turned in task number 1. You turned it in at midnight yesterday. So that should be pretty much done. The only thing you really have left is the scavenger hunt. But uploading the evidences that we're talking about, you can do that up to October 1st.
There's something else on the Moodle. Has everybody else seen it too, or?
What are you talking about in particular on the Moodle?
It's the wrap up or something like that. The PPAT.
Yes, I seen it.
Okay, the PPAT wrap up. It has a little hand with the paper in it. Are you talking about
Yes.
the people?
Yeah, it's asking questions about what is task 1, what do you have to do, what is task
Yes.
2, and it says it's supposed to be 3 pages and discuss it and
Okay,
different stuff.
you're talking about PPA. You talking about where it says the PPAT wrap up, and it's got like a little hand holding a piece of paper on the Moodle.
I guess
Yeah.
I can't remember what it looks like.
Okay,
but,
that's where you turn the scavenger hunt in. Okay,
oh, okay.
That's
I
where
thought we
you-
had to do like 3 pages of something. And,
no, you don't have to do that. Trust me, you don't have to do that.
oh, that's not an assignment. Like, don't worry about that assignment.
No,
'Cause
don't
it's an
worry about
assignment up there.
it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and send the Word document with the scavenger hunt on it out to you all tonight in about 10 minutes. Okay. Okay.
And Dr. Gainey, I've
Yes,
got one
Leanne.
question. This is Leanne. The innovation plan, is that the same thing as our behavior plan that we did in 486?
No, you did the behavior plan in 480. The innovation plan was done in 486.
I can't find an innovation plan.
You had EDU 486 with me. I tell you what, when did you take EDU 486 with me, Leanne?
I have no idea.
Did you do it? Did you do it this year or did you do it last year?
486?
Yes.
I thought we just got done with that one.
That was 480.
Okay. Well, then 486 must have been last year.
Okay, so that was probably spring of 19.
Okay.
Okay, let me do this. Let me go back and look at my, because see what happens is I have a digital archive from previous courses. And let me just go back and look, and if I can find it, what I'll do is I'll email it to you. Will that be fine?
That will be wonderful. Bless you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sure I still have it. Let me just take a look, and if I do, I'll pull it out of that archive and I'll email it to you because I know that I submitted it back to you all when I scored it.
Okay.
But real quick, let me also remind you all that the course evaluation that you all do is up this week, and I'll be sure to send that in the email as well. But please do that because one of the things that happens is every time we teach this course, we like to go back and look at what worked and what didn't. And the way we know what worked and didn't work is what you guys tell us. Okay. So please make sure that you go on and do the course evaluation as well. Now, I'm not going to keep you all tied up because it's a school night and y'all look like y'all been hit by a bus. So I'm going to let y'all go to sleep and get a good night's rest so that you can be ready to get up and do battle with this thing tomorrow too.
Dr. Gainey, where is this uploaded? Under the PPA student resources, where is there the area to upload the documents you need?
No, it's electronic evidences. I'm going to send that to you tonight also, Kimberly, so you can go ahead and get registered on it, okay? PPAT Student Resources is a whole different Moodle. They're 2 Moodles, and I'm going to send you access to both of them, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, well, look, you guys get some rest. I've enjoyed having you all this summer. We got a busy fall ahead of us because we're going to get everybody over the hump so that we don't have to worry about this PPAT thing anymore after November, okay? So you will, like I said, you'll get a list of dates from me. I'm going to send that to you tonight also for when we're going to do the Zooms and when we're also going to do the face-to-face things on the campus at UMO on Saturdays. Now let me ask you this real quick while I'm thinking about it. How did you all get the email I sent? I sent an email out to everybody who was a second-year resident. Did you all get that? It probably went out. I'm thinking it might have gone out Saturday.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, because I sent that information on how to log into both the PPAT student resources and how to register to do the electronic evidences. I sent that out in that, but I'm going to send it out again, okay? All right. Well, look, I've enjoyed being with you all this summer. You all be safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear your masks. Be nice to your children, because like I said, they're just as scared and confused right now as anybody else is. But I will look forward to seeing you all as we do the PPAT support stuff in the fall. You guys take care. If you need me, you have a number to reach me. You also have my email. Don't hesitate to, okay? All right, y'all take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right.